What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to episode 41 of the Charge to the Top, and today I've got for you guys a away fixture against Newport County here in, of course, League 2. Since the last episode, fair few games have been played, so should we have a look at them? Last episode, of course, we took on Mansfield Town. Since then, I mean, the form's been largely positive. When you consider the form kind of a few months ago, this is incredible form, really. Unfortunately, you know, in our last 5 games, only 2 wins. Perhaps could be a little better, but we are continuing to score goals. And yeah, as I said, after that Mansfield game, we've got on some good form here. You can see we started off with a 3-2 win against Cheltenham. Good little result. It was not particularly comfortable, but in the end, James Maddison did get the kind of deciding goal, and it was another game where we did score 3 goals, so always good to see there. We followed that up with a game against Forest Green, as you can see here. We dominated the match, we kept a clean sheet. Harry Lennon was injured for this game, so that kind of made me even happier, I guess, about how the team performed as a whole. Mizag picking up the Man of the Match award. Anyway, in the next game, we played Luton Town. Another 3-goal thriller, another 3-2. This time, as you can see here, Shimanga getting a brace. They were the important goals for us. This game was largely comfortable. Perhaps the last 17 or so minutes was a little bit tight. In terms of chances, both teams had a fair share of opportunities. I feel like we had the better chances. You can see here, 3 clear-cut chances, 5 half chances. Definitely eclipsed Luton's totals in those 2 statistics. Luton, they did have a fair few chances, however. They did have slightly more of the ball. But alas, we got a result and we got a very good win. And, you know, 4 wins on a row, I was loving it. Unfortunately, since then, things have looked a little bit worse, I guess, for wear. You can see here we lost against Plymouth 3-1. A team doing very well in the league this year, Plymouth. They're occupying a playoff spot. They are a good side. It was a bit of a smash and grab by them away from home, if I'm being honest. A set piece by Aaron Cool opened up the scoring. And, well, from there, they've really kicked on and done well. I feel like the power of his hair was harnessed for the free kicks, and unfortunately we couldn't really contend with it, and we lost the game 3-1, which was pretty disappointing, especially against a team, you know, who really are a rival for us in the league. Fortunately, in another, I guess, fairly big game in terms of we were playing another team who aren't, I guess, too far off us, really. We took on Doncaster here. We won 3-1. They had a great start to the game, and I was a little bit worried, but we fought back well. James Maddison playing as a striker for us in this game with some very, very good form. Unfortunately, we have been without a few of our key men. You can see Shimanga still injured with a lower back stress fracture, out for 4 to 5 weeks, which is a pretty hefty period of time for a player to be injured for. He's already been out for 4 weeks with that. And of course, our new man on the block, who we signed, I think just last episode, or the episode before, Sambu, he's done very well as well. Unfortunately for us, he was out injured for 3 weeks with a damaged foot. So as a result, Maddison did kind of become our makeshift striker. But to be fair to him, he got some goals and he was a pretty decent player for us. We then went into a game at home against Scunthorpe, of course, a team who we embarrassed at the start of the season. We beat them 6-2. They embarrassed us here. 3-1 it finished. As you can see here, Maddison getting a goal for us, unfortunately, wasn't enough. Tony Martinez, 2 crucial goals either side of half-time for him, ensured Scunthorpe got the victory. Statistically, we were the better team, but we didn't make our chances count. They created better opportunities and they took them. Fortunately for us, since then, we have gone 2 games unbeaten. The first was a draw against Stevenage. A missed penalty, definitely something that we may live to regret. James Maddison missing it, as you can see there in the 23rd minute. Especially given the fact that Gary Liddell did get sent off. Ben Kennedy scoring a set piece, or a penalty even, in the last 20 minutes for Stevenage did salvage a point for them. And, well, off the back of that slightly disappointing result, we did get a good little win against Exeter. James Maddison grabbing another brace, a player who's been in fine form, on a little bit of a decline as of late. Nothing to worry about, I don't think, too much yet. Really has found some good form as well, which has been good to see. You can see 5 goals and 1 assist, kind of become that striker that we needed with the Sambu and Shimanga injuries. You can see, looking at our side here as a whole, we're not in too bad of a situation here. Sambu back in the side fit. Obviously, that means Maddison can play as a centre attacking mid. Joel Driscoll currently out injured. A little bit of a shame that. Out for 4 to 5 weeks with an abdominal strain. Does leave me in the somewhat precarious position of knowing that if Griffiths gets injured, our only other goalkeeper in the club is this guy, Manuel Igui. I mean, he's not great. I wouldn't say he's terrible though. 15 handling, decent aerial reach. Maybe he could do a job if he absolutely had to, the 19-year-old. Obviously, kind of hoping that won't be the case here. Anyway, the other player injured, Shimanga, we've already talked about him. Chris Owens currently resting. He was out with a cold or a virus for a few weeks. It wasn't a very good virus. You can see here, 2 weeks out. Unfortunately, it really has highlighted one of the big weaknesses we have in our side, and it's kind of apparent. I guess when you just look at the star ratings, really, it is our fullbacks. Scott Wiseman out on the right. He was good a few years ago. His physicals, they've tailed off, I think would be a fair assessment. You can kind of see here, pace has dropped from 17 to 10. His agility has dropped from 10 to 8. He's getting to that stage now where I really need to replace the 35-year-old. His contract does run out at the end of the year, and well, things at left back aren't that much better really. Of course, Chris Owens would normally play left back for us. Unfortunately, the player who I do believe now, Chris Owens, has the most appearances for the club, kind of in Hereford FC's history since the reforming. He's not in the side, and Andre Jones is our only replacement, and he's not very good. I need to sort this out. The fullback position, definitely an area to look into. You may notice a few new names. So if we just look at the transfer history here, you can see 2 new additions. First, we have the imaginatively named John Johnson. Yeah, imaginative or not. This guy released from a team in the 2nd tier of India. We've brought him in. Very good little Englishman, 32 years old. Good kind of backup really more than anything. Good determination, which is always nice. You know, he is a little bit older, but he is good defensively. He is good in the air. He is more than happy to be a backup at the club. And I think he's a very nice little addition at the centre-back area. Anyway, the other player we brought in, Kieran Mayer-Waters. I really like the look of this guy. 20 years old. Irish under-21 international, formerly of Cork City. He joins us. Definitely his weakness, really his off-the-ball and composure. Finishing, I'm not quite so worried about because he is going to be playing as a winger for us, but I do like my players kind of in the attacking third to have good off-the-ball regardless of role. But, well, besides that, I think this guy could really be a good little player for us. Decent vision, decent passing for this level. His physicals are really solid. It's a shame his acceleration wasn't just a teeny tiny little bit better. But he is only 20 years old. Definitely room for him to improve. Of course, with him coming into the side, it does mean a little bit of an odd situation here for James Winters. I'm looking at this guy off Chelsea. His contract runs out at the end of this year. I'm thinking maybe we can get a transfer dealing done. And you may be slightly wondering, Jack, I mean, he's valued at £200,000. Where's the money for this coming from? Fantastic question. Where is the money for this coming from? You may have noticed by our total amount in. Our strategy of bringing in, you know, released regens and trying to sell a few on for a little bit of money, it's kind of worked this year. Last year, we had 3 kind of medium-sized sales. I think they totaled about £1 million. Declan Clark for us this year. We signed him after he was released by Chelsea. We are selling him on to Norwich. He has got injured as soon as he's joined Norwich, but he's joined them for £750,000, which is fantastic money for us. He's a good little 19-year-old, obviously. 20 determination, a standout stat there. His teamwork and finishing are very good as well. May well transpire to be a very, very good striker, but £750,000 for us is very good money. In terms of a lot of the other young players we've been bringing into our side, you probably remember a fair few of these. A lot of them, as you can see here, now out on loan. I tried to sell 1 or 2 of them. People weren't really biting. They're going to get some loan football, which is always good. As for Paul Durand and, of course, Nicholas, our 2 Australian youngsters, both appealed for work permits, neither of them got one. A little bit of a shame because Paul Durand here would be absolutely incredible for our first team right now. A very good player, potential to be a championship attacking midfielder in the future if he gets a work permit. But yeah, he looks very, very good. Has obviously that great potential, but very good ability even now. Would have been a really useful player for us to have this year. Andrew Nichols, on the other hand, obviously a striker slash centre mid. Really his lack of finishing, composure and off the ball holding back somewhat. But even then, the 18-year-old, a very good player, the kind of player who I'd like to get a work permit for. Again, got it declined. Who knows? Maybe we can sell those players on for money. I'd really like to get Durand in the first team and get him a work permit if possible, but that is looking increasingly unlikely, at least as things stand. As I said, elsewhere in our kind of under 23s, lots of players out on loan. You can see here the majority of our best potential players out on loan. Did try to sell a few of them, as you might be able to see by the fact they're all listed. No big teams bit, but really the way things have worked here, if we just look at our transfer history and the players that we brought in on frees, there's a few exceptions to the rule, but if we go by date here and just select all the players we brought on frees, which were kind of scatter fire players I brought in to try and develop, there were 15 players. Their average wages is probably around £700 a week, and so that's totaling about £1,000 there or thereabouts a week. A week for all our players we're paying. Obviously, I've done my maths wrong here. £10,000 a week on these players' wages, roughly. Obviously, 52 weeks in a year. So to keep these players on for a year, all the players we signed, it would cost us about £520,000. Of course, with the sale of Declan going out for £700,000, we've kind of covered our overheads there. Does that make sense? It should make sense. Basically, 15 players, average wage £700 for a year. that kind of total wages would be £500,000. We've sold one of them on for £750,000. We've made some money regardless, and of course, off the back of those training facilities that we got built, which did cost a fair bit of money, it's nice to get a little bit more money into the club. And as you can see here, looking at our transfer budget and wage budget, we have money to burn. So yes, I am going to be looking to improve the fullback position. The goalkeeper position, definitely another area I think we could do with improvement in. It would be fair to say that Russell Griffiths this year really has met his level. He has struggled this year in goal for us, the 24-year-old goalkeeper. Of course, our form has not been fantastic as of late, as I already highlighted, but if we look at the competitions here, you can kind of see where we lie. We're currently in fourth, but it's getting ridiculously close, all the way really from, I guess you could include Cheltenham in this, from Cheltenham in 6th up to Chesterfield in 1st, 5 points separating the side. And our next 3 fixtures, are you ready for this? Today, we have Newport County. Tomorrow, or whenever next episode is, it's going to be a Chesterfield and Peterborough doubleheader. The next 3 games we have against 1st, 2nd and 3rd. These 3 games will very much, I think, define, do we want to push for the automatic promotion spot? Do we want to even push for the title? Dare I utter those words? Or are we realistically going to be looking at a playoff kind of challenge that we have to kind of fend off teams like Tranmere and Stevenage, who are definitely going to be keen to be in and amongst the pigeons come the end of this. I say pigeons, there aren't any pigeons here, but we have got the Cheltenham bird. Is it a robin? I think it's a robin for Cheltenham. I'm 90% sure it is. So we've got the Cheltenham robin, we've got the Oldham owl, we've got the Hereford cow, and we've got the Plymouth ship. They've broken the chain here. I want an animal-themed playoffs if we're going to have it. Come on, Gillingham, get promoted. Or get up the league a little bit. Anyway, I don't know where we're going on this tangent. Should we get into today's game? I think we will. Obviously, a few players making their live com debuts today. In terms of our team, it's a pretty good squad, you know. There's a few injuries to contend with. The fullback position, definitely the glaring weakness, but with the exception of that, I'm very, very happy with the team we're able to field at the moment. Anyway, in goal we have Russell Griffiths, definitely a weak link. I've already talked about the likes of Andre Jones out on the left. He's not good enough. I need new fullbacks. Wiseman as well, obviously losing his pace, not good enough. The centre-back position, 2 positions I'm very, very happy with actually. Harry Lennon, 26 years old now. He's really improved this year, which is a pleasant surprise. Obviously, you don't really expect players who are 26 years old to improve. He has done a noticeable amount over the last year, which is great. Of course, alongside him we go with Mizag, the Frenchman, formerly, of course, of Leyton Orient, who really didn't give him a chance in this division. He's done very well for us this year, however. In the centre midfield positions, we're going to go with Antonio Romario, playing as our deep line playmaker on defence. You can see very, very well suited to this role. In truth, this guy's form, really, to start his career at the club, hasn't been great. I'm going to stick with him, though, because he does have that raw ability. Alongside him, we go with Jake Hesketh, 24 years old, fantastic player. 11 appearances so far this year, a 7.03 rating for him. Out on the left-hand side, perhaps a little bit of a surprise here, we go with James Winters, the youngster in on loan from Chelsea. I mentioned my aspirations to maybe sign this guy. Obviously, his consistency is really, really good. He's got the potential to be a right winger in the future. His contract's expiring. I don't know how much Chelsea are going to want for him. I've inquired about him. I'm hoping they're going to give us a decent price for him, or at least maybe we can loan him for another year, because he's a very, very useful player to have, the 18-year-old. Out on the right, we go with Mayor Waters. This is going to be his second ever game, obviously. His debut in a live commentary, the Irish youngster, perhaps got a point to prove out on the right-hand side. At the central attacking mid position, we're going to go with James Maddison. Up front for today's game, we go with Basala Sambu. He's been continuing to score a decent chunk of goals, really. 9 appearances, including 2 off the bench, 4 goals, 3 assists, not too shabby really. On the bench we've got John Johnson, of course the new centre-back option, can also play centre-mid and right mid and centre-defensive mid, so kind of nice to have a player who's a little bit flexible in that regard. Of course a not so dissimilar player in a lot of ways, Rafael Branco, also on the bench. You can kind of see here how we don't have a left-back on the bench. That is an observation that you may have noticed. We are going to, of course, hope that Andre Jones doesn't get injured, because we might have a little bit of an issue, although Mizag can play left wing-back, so that's something, right? You know, the right-footed player, we inverted wing-backs, we'll just revert to that if we have to. Anyway, looking at the rest of our bench real quick, we've got Joe Edwards, who, of course, joined us earlier on in the season, kind of been ousted a little bit out of the first team, obviously, with the additions of Romaro and Hesketh, but a very, very good kind of centre mid who we can definitely depend upon if we need to. James Murphy, another new addition, the young kind of centre mid, good little player, loads of potential, American, very creative player, great passing, great vision, 23 years old as well, fantastic option to have on the bench. In terms of attacking midfielder options, Harry Anderson, of course, our right midfielder, finds himself on the bench, but a consistent performer, a fan favourite, definitely a player who can come on and make an impact. A similar player in that regard, I guess, is Ricky Holmes over on the left-hand side, 33 years old, perhaps losing a little bit of edge off his pace. Worth noting his contract is expiring at the end of the year at 33 years old. I don't know if I can quite justify it, kind of renewing it, particularly with an influx of players who do have very good determination, which was something that we did kind of bring in Ricky Holmes to overcome. Worth noting that with Shamanga's injury, Stephen Payne finds himself on the bench. He did make one appearance as a starter during the kind of mini injury crisis, and he did actually get a goal from the striker position, to be fair to him, but he has struggled to adapt this year. He really isn't up to the standard of League 2, but due to injuries and other problems, really him and Ote are only two kind of backup strikers who are fit. He finds himself on the bench today. Anyway, let's submit our team for today's game. Massive game against Newport, of course. We've got this game today. Next episode will be the Chesterfield and Peterborough double headers. I'm hoping we can get a good little performance here. Let's see what we can do aggressively. Enjoy the match today. This is a big game. It's away from home. In the reverse fixture, we actually beat Newport County 2-0, but it's worth noting they are very much a team on the rise, a very, very good team. They've been charging up the league as of late. They have a strong team as a whole. Perhaps a little bit surprising to be as high in the division as they are. If we just look here really quickly, you can see here Lua, their star player, a fantastic striker really at this level. Very, very terrifying player we've got to keep an eye out for. Their captain is Joe Day. Decent goalkeeper as well, the 30-year-old again. Another player we've probably got to be wary of. So anyway, let's get into this. Let's see what we can do away from home. We beat them last time. Form's not been great. 2 wins in our last 5. But, well, with the big games we've got coming up, we need to start turning it around. And hopefully, today is where we can start doing just that. Of course, Andre Jones at left back, Scott Wiseman at right back. They're the areas where I feel like we're most susceptible to a team like Newport County kind of abusing us. It might seem a little bit weird for me, I guess, to emphasise the fullback position so much as of late. But of course, with Chris Owens' injury, or rather his virus, and Wiseman's kind of decline physically over the last 6 months, it really has become more and more apparent. This is a problem that has to be addressed in this January transfer window if we can do it. And well, we need to defend here. Wiseman unable to keep up. Winters kind of forced into a tackle there and forced into making a foul. It's going to be a penalty to Newport County. Not how I imagined our start to this game going. The first shot on target, assuming it's going to be on target here, going to be a penalty. Aziz smashes it in, makes absolutely no mistake there. Flies into the top right corner. Newport County, first blood in this game. Disappointing. I think Winters probably had to make the foul there at the back post. It did look like a really good opportunity for Newport County to score. At the same time, you know, you really don't want to be left in that kind of situation, and it was Scott Wiseman at right back, just unable to keep up with the pace that Newport County possess out on the left-hand side, and unfortunately for us, they strike first, don't they? It's Aziz from the penalty spot against our own fans behind the goal. They tried to distract him, they couldn't do it enough. Newport County 1-0 up, and the team that really had been on a significant kind of significantly good run of form and really have been charging up the table look like they may well continue their ascent today. Although, of course, we're not going to roll on our backs and kind of let them have this game. We are going to fight for this, and I'm hoping that the players are going to put in an improved performance here, because the first 20 minutes we've had more of the ball, we've had a few more shots. We're not creating anything of too much notoriety, just the one half chance to our name. And, well, in truth, 25 minutes gone here. The penalty, the only real opportunity of this game to speak of for either team. A game that seems to at least be playing largely in the midfield. We're having a fair bit of possession in our own half, but we need to have it in the enemy area. And, well, James Winters, he's been error-prone today. Of course, the youngster out on the left-hand side did give away the penalty. We've got options like Ricky Holmes at left attacking midfielder who we can definitely bring in. But at half-time here, we're going to be a goal down. It's not been a classic, has it, as far as the half's gone? I am going to take off Winters and bring on Ricky Holmes. 33 years old, of course, Ricky. Not the youngest player in the team by any stretch of the imagination. And his physicals have declined as well. Hasn't perhaps got the pace that you associate with a winger. But hopefully he can step things up here and give a good performance. That's kind of what we're hoping for. As I'm hoping the match engine can stop lagging. I don't know if you guys can see that or if it's fine for you, but it's very jittery for me. I've been getting this problem as of late. It seems to be okay again now. Wiseman whips in. Sambu can't quite get there. Angel back today who clears it. And, well, looks like Newport County going to be looking to maybe hit us on the break. Palmer beats his man, whips it in. Luer I highlighted him as a potential danger man. 2 shots on target for Newport County, 2 goals. Griffiths in goal, not good enough. Again, it's down that right-hand side of our team where Wiseman... I mean, where is Wiseman? He's just... Where is he? I can't... Where are you, Wiseman? Where is it? He's there. I mean, there's the problem, really, isn't it? He's not got back. He's not got the speed to get back, unfortunately, for us. Look at the team. It's been a really poor performance. I'm going to make another change here. Romano, he's been struggling for form out of late. He's really struggled in this game as well. I'm going to take him off. I'm actually going to bring on... who do I want to bring on? I think I might even bring on Joe Edwards, actually, at centre mid on support. We'll move Jake Keskiff to the deep line playmaker role, I think. But, well, not long left in this game. 35 minutes. We've got a 2-goal deficit to try and overturn. 10 minutes into the second half. We really had a poor start to the first half. We've had an equally poor start to the second half. 2 goals right at the start of each period really have hurt us hard here. They have caused us... I don't even know how to say it. They've kind of psyched us out, really, haven't they? It's not been a good day at the office. Sambu struggled in front of goal. We might have a chance here. Holmes whips it in. It's cleared away. Newport County perhaps could be looking for the counter. Andre Jones there passes the ball. Wiseman, big ball through. Madison's there. Probably should finish its day with the stop in the end. Probably should have done a lot better, as the commentator suggests. And, well, unfortunately for us, there's 20 minutes left in this game. And I'm a little bit worried. We've got to change something. Madison's twisted his knee. That's not an injury I can really risk playing him through. This does leave me, however, in a bit of a tricky situation when it comes to... if we're without Madison for our next 2 games, we could be in trouble. He really is one of... excuse me. He really is one of our key players, James Madison. A twisted knee is not an injury I can really underestimate. He's probably going to be out for a few weeks. And, well, this game, I don't want to say it's dead and done. There's still time, obviously, for us to fight back. And it's not like we're a man down. But without our star player, who, granted, today hasn't had the greatest of games, the next 2 matches could be a big, big mountain to climb. Anyway, we are on the attack here still. Hesketh up to Sambu. Holmes hits it from range, hits the crossbar. Going to be cleared away. Aziz now has it. And, well, you'd have to say Newport County, they've dealt with that well there in the end, eventually. And, well, we can only really have ourselves to blame here. 8 minutes left. It's not been a great performance. We've had, obviously, more half chances, as many clear-cut chances, but we've not really taken the opportunities. I feel like the Shimanga injury really is hitting us hard. Obviously, the fractured back, it's a bad injury. We've got consolation through Edwards, but with 15 seconds left, I can't really see it being a, I guess, a game changer in terms of getting us back into this game. 2-1, it's merely going to be a consolation, you'd imagine. Oh dear, not the result we wanted. Obviously, Madison getting injured is really bad news. I guess the silver lining is Chris Owens should be fit for the next game. The fullback position out on the right, though, definitely been exploited with Wiseman's lack of pace. And, well, unfortunately for us, it's going to be full time here at Rodney Parade. You'd have to say Newport County probably deserve it off the chances we saw. They were the better team. They actually go top of the table. We slipped down to 5th. And suddenly our games against Chesterfield and Peterborough have kind of even more significance. You can see here Peterborough lost to Stevenage, who are not far off us, really. In the other game, Chesterfield drew, I do believe. Yeah, they did. You can see here they drew against Exeter in 23rd. So that's a little bit kind, I guess, for us. But Newport County, definitely the team to watch right now. They had a little bit of a blip in form, but you kind of look at it, really. They've been in fine form, haven't they? I don't know how many games they've played there, but there is a hell of a lot of green. Only 1 draw and 1 defeat in that run of results that dates back all the way to kind of mid-November. So kind of over the last 2 months, they've been very, very strong. But anyway, not the result we wanted today, unfortunately. Obviously, next episode, we do need to try and bounce back. We are going to be taking on Peterborough and Chesterfield, 2 massive games. Home against Peterborough, we obviously drew against them 2-2 in the opposite fixture, hoping we can get a good result there. Chesterfield could be a little bit trickier, although they went on a very, very good run to start the year, and they have been very, very kind of questionable as a side as of late. You can see here just 1 win in their last, 9 games in all competitions. They really have been poor. Granted, a few cup games to be thrown in there too. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me. If you have enjoyed, as always, leave a like. I'm going to try and fix the fullback position if I can in a week that I have. Maybe we can make a transfer happen, although you'd imagine it'll be a very, very tall order. But yeah, regardless, hopefully I'll see you guys next time. If you have enjoyed, leave a like. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.